What's up YouTube, it's your boy Carvin's Reg. Welcome back to another video. And in today's video we're doing the pros and cons of owning a Lexus LS400. I did this video with the G37, also did this video with the G35, so it's only right I do it with the Lexus LS400 now that I owned it for like I believe three months now. I can go ahead and give you all this video. So we're gonna start with the pros first. So the first pro is that this car is very reliable. It will definitely get you to A to B without you worrying if the car is gonna make it. Even long destinations, like if you want to go take a long road trip, you ain't got to worry about with the Lexus LS400 if it was maintained well. That's the thing. If it was maintained well, you ain't got to worry about it. Or if you have been maintaining it well, you ain't got to worry about it. You can go ahead and take this on a long drive, or you can, you know, commute in it, or whatever you want to do with the LS is going to take you there. You ain't got to worry about it. This car is very, very, very reliable, and it's also known that this car can get you to 1,000,000 miles if you take care of it. I've seen a lot of LSs that has 300,000 miles that's still going. You know what I'm saying? It still drive like it's brand new. So if you take care of the car, it will definitely take care of you. Mainly with the LS, if you take care of this car, it will really take care of you. So just stay on top of your maintenance, you know, just make sure you get all that stuff taken care of, and the car is going to be, you know, very good to you. The second pro is that this car is very, very comfortable. Now, as far as comfortable sitting inside the car, and also comfortable when you're driving this car. So what I mean by that is the suspension. This suspension is beautiful. Now, I said this on what are my plans with the LS video. Going into me buying this car, I did want to lower this car because I like how this car looked lowered. But after me driving it and daily driving it for, you know, 3 months now, I'm keeping everything stock. I'm actually going to replace all the shocks because I am noticing a little bit of a noise, but it's not bad to where I'm noticing it like, you know, driving the car. The car floats on the freeway. It really floats. Like, it feel like you're driving on pillows. And I don't even have like the most expensive tires either. Like, you know, my tires are fairly cheap. So the car floats, man. Like, I don't know how Lexus did it, how the way they built the suspension, but this is perfect. And now we're going to talk about the inside of the car, because the car is absolutely comfortable as soon as you sit in it. It feels like you're sitting on the couch. You know what I'm saying? Every time when I get in this car, I feel like I'm sitting on the couch, and it's so comfortable. Like, I be taking this car to work, or I'll just be driving around town, and a lot of times I choose to just drive this car. Like, I'm supposed to drive the G35 on the weekends. I'll be in this car majority of the time because it's so comfortable. Like, it's really comfortable, and the car drives so good. So I'm very happy with me getting a Lexus LS400. I was really close to getting the ES300 or possibly another Infinity, but I'm glad I chose the Lexus LS400 because, man, this car by far is the most comfortable cars I ever drove, for real. So if you're interested in buying a Lexus LS400, definitely do it, man. Definitely do it. Another pro is that this car is quiet. It's kind of crazy me saying that because all of my cars is loud besides the Acura. The G37 is loud. The G35 is loud. So this is like my only quiet car, and I like it. So when I first bought this car, I actually had plans on getting a muffler delete. I was gonna delete all the mufflers, possibly put some vibrant resonators on there or whatever, and then, you know, call it a day. Have, you know, another, you know, loud car, something that I could hear, you know what I'm saying, if I step on it. But me driving this car for 3 months, I actually like it being quiet because nobody don't know when I'm coming. It's real low key. And besides all that, I have a lot of police activity where I live, and I used to get bothered when I'm driving a G37 because of the exhaust on that car, and it's a little loud. So I'm like, you know what, I don't know if I really want to get bothered with this car because it's already tinted up, it's black, it kind of look grimy already, but I don't want to draw too much attention. So I'm kind of thinking I'm gonna hold back for a while, but I can say I'm really enjoying how quiet this car is. Like, even when you step on the gas, like even when you're flooring it, you don't hear the engine. Like, I only hear the engine coming out the AC vents. It's not like I hear the engine like making a big old noise, or you don't even hear the exhaust like when you step on it. Like, this car is very, very quiet and is very insulated. Also blocks out a lot of road noise too. So A lot of the road noise that you usually hear with another car, you don't hear in this car. So Lexus did a good job by making this car very insulated, very quiet. For the people who like quiet cars, this is it. This is it. Almost sound like a Prius. That's how quiet it is. Like, it's crazy because when I first started up, like do a cold start, of course, you'll hear it. But then like 2 seconds later, you don't hear it at all. This car is very, 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 very quiet. Another pro is that you can get them for an affordable price. These cars are not too expensive. Now, I bought mine for $2,500, but as you can see, the car came with a lot of maintenance stuff that I had to do. So if you could get a clean one like I did for $2,500, that you just got to put some money in and do the maintenance, it's definitely worth it. Or if you choose to pick one up for $5,000, that's like a good condition LS. You might have a little bit of something going on, but for the most part, it's a good car. And if you're paying $10,000 for one, that's something with low mileage, mint condition, or whatever. But the one thing about this car is that you can get it for a very affordable price, and also you can always find a Lexus Ls400. Like, all you gotta do is go on offer up, Facebook, Craigslist. There's always gonna be a LS for sale. So the availability with this car is always good, and it's affordable for the car that you're getting, like a nice reliable car. So that's definitely a pro. Now let's go ahead and get into the cons. So the first con will be, of course, gas mileage. You don't get the best gas mileage in this car. I tend to be in the 19 to 22 miles per gallon just because I do a lot of highway driving. But if you do a lot of street driving, you probably get maybe less than 15. So the car is pretty bad on gas, but you should already know because this car is a V8. It's a big car. It's going to require gas. So definitely don't buy this car off of like good gas mileage, but I'm pretty sure you guys already know that it's a V8. It's not going to have the best gas mileage, but it's definitely not the worst. Let me say that it's definitely not the worst. But if you do a lot of highway driving like me, you really won't really notice it because, to be honest, I get about like 400 miles out my tank, and like I said, I'm averaging about 19 to 22 miles per gallon. I don't drive fast with this car. I just be cruising. So at the end of the week, I usually see my gas tank on half, which is, pretty good. And, in the start of the week, I always fill up my tank, always. The gas mileage is not bad, but it's not good. But it is a con because typically it's not great. Another con is that the cluster usually goes out or it starts tripping. Like I've seen a couple of LSs that will say the car is running hot when it's not running hot, or the cluster would completely stop working and you have to get it rebuilt or get another one. So that is another con when buying this car, is that the cluster does have issues. So either it'll stop working or it'll start tripping. Like, it will say your car is running hot when it's really not running hot. So that's definitely a con when it comes to this car. So this is a con really for me, but I believe this car is way too insulated. Like, it's cool, I get where they were going with it, but this car is way too insulated. I don't know if you guys know, if this is your first video that you guys are watching, but I have two 12s in the trunk, right? But you got the big gas tank in the trunk, meaning that I can't, pull down the back seats. I can't even open the little middle console thingy majiggy and get to the trunk. So, because the gas tank is right there. So when it comes to putting music, like, this is for people who want to put music in the LS. When it comes to putting music in this car, just know it's not going to slap. It's hard if you would put it in another car that wasn't so insulated. Like, don't get me wrong, like, it still slap, but it's not going to slap as hard as it would if the car wasn't so insulated, or if you didn't have a gas tank right there. You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely something to look forward to. If you're trying to add music, I would definitely say go with bigger speakers. I wanted two 12s really bad because I love how 12s sound, but if I had to do it over again because of how the way this car is set up, I would have probably went with two 15s instead of two 12s. That's a con for me, is that it is a little bit too insulated. But like I said in the pro, it could be a pro for you because maybe you like it really quiet, but for me, I like to slap. I want to pull down my back seats, or at least pull this thing out and have a little bit of access to the trunk so the subs could get a little bit more air. But it is what it is. But that's my con, is that it's too insulated. Another con with this car, I'm gonna actually say two. Number one, the steering wheel motor is all good and handy while it's working, but when it stopped working, then what you gonna do? because this steering wheel, so pretty much with the LS is that every time you turn it on, the steering wheel comes down and it goes and it sets to however you know set it up. But if it stopped working, the steering wheel will stay up in that position. There's no way of manually, you know, pulling down the steering wheel or anything like that. It's all electric. And I don't even know if they make motors for the, you know, steering wheel, you know, anymore, just because the car is old. So that's another con, because when it goes out, that's gonna be very annoying. And hopefully you could get it fixed. So if you could, let me know in the comments below. Another con is that the ECUs go out with this car. Now I heard it going out when it gets well over 300,000 or well over 400,000. So for me, I'm at 200,000. I feel like I have nothing to worry about right now, but in the back of my head, I'm gonna know that, you know, as it gets close to 300,000, I need to start putting up some money to probably, you know, replace the ECU, or, you know, get it fixed or whatever. So that is another con. But that's gonna be the end of this video. That's all I got for you guys. I told you guys the pros and the cons, but ultimately this car is a great car, and if you are looking for a Lexus LS400, I definitely say go get it. It's definitely a good buy, and you won't be disappointed. Just make sure when you do buy it, you buy it from somebody who took really good care of the car. They baby the car, and you know you won't have no problems. But if you buy this car for somebody who was swinging it and didn't really too much care, then it's gonna be a nightmare. And that's with any car, but this car is gonna be a nightmare because it's a V8, it's a Lexus. It costs a little bit more to maintain this car just because it is an LS and it's a V8, and of course it's a Lexus. I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace.